Hello, everybody. Everybody all the way down there. I'm gonna wait till you get to the front. Everybody, let's go to the parking lot. Let's get out the middle of the road.
Broward Safety Complex. Broward County Sheriff is being very cooperative.
Hey, Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, I would like to thank all y'all for showing up today and showing out. This is the way you protest. This is the way you get your message across. This is the way the world is able to acknowledge us and see us. Without us coming out peacefully, without us coming out with love in our heart, nothing can get done. I swear, I'm going to do something else about this matter, and I hope that this is not the last time I see you guys. Please just don't post these pictures saying that y'all participated in the protest. Y'all signed some papers. Y'all get registered to vote. They done made it right, gave us rights for felonies to vote now. So there's no reason why we should sit here and just complain. We actually can make a difference now. Once again, I don't sit on the back of the bus no more. So I know somebody made a difference for me. And if we could keep doing the same thing that our ancestors did for us, you too can make a change. Thank y'all for showing up. I know it's hot out here, and 8 minutes is a very long time to be on y'all knees. We represented our city, we represent the United States, we represent our culture, and once of all, we representing everyone.
Hello everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. This is Sheriff Tony. I've been waiting on y'all all morning. I've been here since 7 o'clock waiting for y'all to arrive here so that I can address my community, the people that I work for. I'm hurting like hell just like the rest of you.
What about the young man that...
We lost.
Wait, hold on.
I'll answer it, that's fine. I can answer it. I have arrived here 17 months ago as the first black sheriff of this organization. And since I've arrived here, I've brought all the hardships that I've had to endure in my own personal life. I not only witnessed Floyd with his knee on his neck, I was that young man. I dealt with that in Philadelphia. I say it all the time, long before I had stars around my neck, I had a knee on my neck by an aggressive, abusive police officer. And I elected to do something about it. I decided that it wasn't going to be burning cars, it wasn't going to be flipping cars, but if we are going to change institutional racism, if we are going to breach a criminal justice system that continues to disproportionately arrest and detain and house black people, it has to come from the top. Abusive officers have no role in this profession. I now command 5,700 people, and there's a lot good men and women who want to do the right thing. But all it takes is one, and our country burns. It's burning all across the country right now because of one failed person. And since I've been in this office, I knew this day would come. I've had to make a lot of hard decisions. I've terminated a multitude of deputies for beating people in handcuffs, for beating people in handcuffs, for slamming young men heads against the ground, for choke slamming little girls. It's inappropriate. Your march today, I started 20 years ago, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. I'm taking heat like hell right now because I've had to make these tough decisions. But I am not going to wait for somebody to die on my watch because of a failed deputy, did not do the right thing, did not respect us as people, did not understand that it is protect first and serve later. Nowhere in there says brutality or murder. And I'm not going to house this at all. It's not about just marching today, it's about what do we do to impact this on a much larger scale. I'm doing it now, but I need your help. We cannot just march today. You got to put more people in office that understand that we are not the enemy, that we are not some monsters, that we are also human beings.
We gotta vote.
You got to show up.
You gotta vote for the right
You can't forget today.
Not just vote.
You are not the first to march on the streets of America for civil rights and liberties. Our people have been doing this for decades now. We had to breach slavery. We had to find our way into the civil rights movement to get liberties afforded to us. But we're not done. And I'm proud to see that we got some white folks in this community because it's always been that way. Good people are good people. We're going to keep rallying. I got to cut this short. But I'll tell you this. I'm not falling asleep on my watch. This has done nothing but embolden me and empowered me to make sure I hold the men and women accountable. And we want to, not just me, but our entire command staff. We got your back and we're not going to disappoint this community.
Thank you, Sheriff Tony. But I want you all, at this moment, to look at what you've done here today. Today we made a difference. Today we stood for something. And like I told the organizer of this event, Ms. Lori Broomfield, a star was born today. And that's Lori, our queen.
All right.
I don't need any introduction to this community. Born and raised,
What's your name?
still serving. I'm Robert McKenzie, your district commissioner. And what we're going to do is go back to the store. We're going to go home and resume our lives, but this is the beginning of a relationship. Look at what happened here today.
Yes.
Men, women, children, 2 police departments, 2 cities came together for a common good. Peaceful, peaceful. And that's because of the dream. The dream that Martin dreamed and the dream that Lori dreamed to do something peaceful. So thank you, Queen. Let's march back home. Let's march back home.
Thank you for coming out, first of all. What we want to know is, what do you feel like we accomplished here today?
I think the people have a voice, and it's finally getting more community activists engaged in a battle that I've kind of taken on in this organization, which is we have to cut out police brutality. We have to hold our deputies and officers, not only just here in this agency, but across this country, to a higher standard. We come from a culture, you know, I'm a black man, as you can see, where for years, hundreds of years, law enforcement has been used to oppress us as a people. And so now I'm the chief officer here. I understand that plight. I grew up with it. And I'm trying to empower not only our agency to be more respectful of the needs of the community, but also the community needs to get involved with us. We got to break down that distrust of we can't trust the cops. Are they there for us? Because I can tell you the overwhelming majority of the community and this law enforcement agency can work together and be so much more productive before people start being murdered on the streets.
Now, from a young man like me that grew up in the streets, and I really appreciate the fact that you, somebody that looks like me, is in office, because I came from the streets with like you said earlier, with
Sure.
you know, officers, my knee and their knee in my neck for no reason. You've actually been there, and other than firing people and trying to weed out the force, is there anything that you can think that would actually change? Because some people are trying to have a conversation about that the officers are only have so much control, right?
Well, I'll tell you one of the key things we've done. Right, I've invested over $500,000 just last year alone to introduce racial equity and implicit bias training, to help educate the deputies that are out in the field to understand the differences with minority class and the plight that we have and the distrust that just naturally comes. We also start making sure we build a professional standards committee that's managed by a judge with civilians to look at our use of force aspects that happen, so that we can be very unbiased in our approach to say, hey, that was wrong, he needs to be terminated, that was wrong, maybe they need to be fired, maybe they need to be suspended, maybe they need to be held accountable for written reprimand. But you need to include the community. You can't do that by yourself.
Right. Now, as a black man in America, yeah, go ahead. You said one more? Oh, one more, and we have to go. So I'm not gonna keep you too long. I just want to, as a black man in America that has children yourself, what would you want to say?
No children.
No children. Okay. Well, what
but I have
would you
enough
want to
nieces
say?
and nephews out here. I'll tell you that much.
Awesome. Well, like to a 16 or 17-year-old out here that in a couple of years they're going to be voting and they're going to be the ones that's taking over. What would you want to say to these kids?
I'll go back to what I said earlier. The importance, if you're going to try to impact and affect change, you got to be able to penetrate the systems that have the issues. And so it's good to rally now, but they need to put a plan together that'll give them an opportunity to be in a position to make change. Just as myself. Now I'm the policymaker. Now I'm determining what we are going to do and what initiatives are important for this community, right? You only can make so much change at the bottom. So I would encourage young folks to push as hard as they can, stay on course to get into roles where they can make real decisions. All right?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate your time. decide to let's go home and go back to our lives. But a lot of young men would say that, you know, after these awful things that keep on happening to us, and not only the police brutality, because that's only just a little bit of it. You know, we don't really want to get into too much of just blaming the police for all the problems that we have in America, because it's a lot deeper than that.
You're right.
Especially speaking with somebody that's inside of the office that can actually see the other side that we don't see on the street. So
it's community, and I said in my presentation that we built relationships every day. One with the police department, one with the community, and one globally as to what's going on in the world with this brutality. I'm blessed that, and for a lot of that, I have a great relationship with my police officers.
Yes.
But the community has to get involved. There's all sorts of things. We're starting here today. We're going back home now to continue building these relationships. Get involved with your local police department. Get involved with your local governments. Participate at the polls. Vote. I mean, voting can change a lot of this stuff. I mean, a lot of times we just put people in office just because their name sounds good, or we saw some type of pamphlet that came to our homes. If you don't know that person, don't waste your vote on them. But we can make a difference at the polls. We can make a difference by volunteering. We can make a difference by taking care of our own communities and not depending on other people to do that for us.
You definitely was voted into that position.
Exactly.
So to somebody that would vote somebody into office, somebody young that doesn't really follow politics too much, what is like a key thing that you would possibly say to get somebody to go out and get out of their house and go vote?
Well, the biggest thing is educating folks, especially young people, because young people haven't been exposed to that. We're exposed to social media and so many other different things that take you away from the bigger picture.
Right.
But it's my responsibility as a community leader, it's my responsibility as a father, it's my responsibility as just as a human being, is to bring someone along the way with me. So a lot of times we're not teaching these kids, you know, the fundamentals of how life really works. So we got to educate them. We got to take them by the hand. They may not even know what voting's all about. They might not even be registered. So it's folks like you and me, it's your media, that you can send that message that your vote does count. Because a lot of people think that votes don't count, especially what we're witnessing right now in Washington, D.C. Such disrespect to our Constitution, such disrespect to just humankind. You know, and folks just really believe their votes are not being counted, but your votes do count. If you take the number of votes that we lost by in the Trump election, the folks that didn't vote in Atlanta, black folks, would have made the difference.
Just Atlanta alone?
Would have made the difference. Would have made the difference.
And that's not to mention the rest of the
That's
the
not
50,
to mention for a
51
lot of
states.
this. That's not to mention the others. If we get out and vote, we can make a difference.
You know, I really wanted to come out here and see it for myself, you know. And now that I'm seeing it, you know, I got to actually speak with a couple of city officials, and it was awesome. You know, some people would say politicians are politicians, and you know, they're just looking for the next vote. But at the same time, they had some valuable things to offer. You know what I mean? Some valuable things to offer. So let's just keep with the conversation, you know, and keep on making things happen, because we're definitely gonna affect some kind of change. We're not gonna just sleep, right?